How you guys doing today? This is Weekend Warriors, Nathan and Monica.
Hello there.
Here at ShieldBreaker's to do a battle report on Malifaux. I personally will be running the Neverborn and giving the Dreamer a run now that they finalized their second wave of beta testing. And this is barring any other changes from here to print, the final version of the Dreamer and his crew. So as a longtime player of the Dreamer, I'm really excited to see how this is going to turn out.
I am running Sonnia Criid's starter box set. Sonnia Criid is part of the guild. I am also putting a Death Marshal in there as well because we are doing a 40 Soulstone scrap level game and I needed an extra model to throw in there to boost it up.
Cool. Keep with us. Next thing we'll be going over is the reviews of the armies themselves. Stay tuned. Alright guys, this is Weekend Warrior Nate, and we're back for the army reviews. As mentioned earlier, I will be running the Dreamer with Lord Chompybits. The remainder of the crew that I am purchasing will round out with a pair of teddies, a stitch together, and Copelas. Those familiar with the Dreamer also will be aware that throughout the course of the battle, daydreams can be summoned pretty quickly and efficiently, as well as Alps between the Dreamer and Copelas himself. So expect to see these guys showing up throughout the course of the battle. Monica, what you got for us today?
I have a crew led by Sonnia. We also have Samuel Hopkins, the Purifying Flame, and 3 Witchling Stalkers. That is what comes in Sonnia's starter box. As well as a Death Marshal. She's a special edition Death Marshal called Mysterious, but she works just the same as a Death Marshal.
Fantastic. Any little tricks to this crew we should expect to see?
Well, I've only run her once before, but they tend to like to put burning conditions on their enemies. If they get that off, Sonnia and Samuel have special abilities where they do not require a line of sight for shooting at their enemies.
Welcome back, folks. This is Weekend Warrior Nathan once again, going over the deployment. Monica, as our resident henchman, how about you go ahead and explain the scenario for us?
Okay. Deployment was close deployment, so you can see we're farther than the normal 6-inch deployment zone up. We have a 12-inch deployment zone. For the overall strategy, we flipped turf marker, so we have a marker in the middle, and each team gets victory points for having more than 2 non-peon style models within 6 inches of that. We did our generated scheme pool for sake of the game. We don't want to reveal those necessarily.
But the pool itself turned out to be line in the sand, distract, plant evidence, plant explosives, and breakthrough.
So lots of scheme marker schemes going on and lots of direct contact, which may or may not be good for me because my plan of attack was stay away from the Dreamer and utilize my range that I have on Sonnia.
And I can't wait to bury her in bodies. With that, we'll be back in a little shortly with end of turn 1. Alright folks, welcome back. Here we are at the end of turn 1. Quite a bit has actually happened on this turn thanks to the close deployment. Dreamer decided to start the turn off by summoning 2 Daydreams in an Alp, getting him Waking +3. Lord Chompy is coming soon. Using the Daydreams and the Alps, we've gotten some heavy movement from my side. Using Daydreams Lure Nightmares, we've moved the teddies up into engagement range. The rest of the army has kind of been positioned to start advancing and supporting afterwards. The Witch Hunter turn has resulted in a couple Stalkers being a little scared of teddies, but Sonnia was able to fix that out, landing a mighty 9 damage in a single activation on a teddy. Almost taking him out of the fight completely. Hopkins using a very impressive rapid fire volley, firing 3 shots, hitting once to kill an Alp. And the other teddy over there took some damage and is about to receive a burning damage, along with also managing to avoid any real damage from the people attacking him. As this is turn 1, no VPs have been, or no control points have been scored this turn. We will see how we go from here. See you at the end of turn 2. And welcome back, folks. Here we are at the end of turn 2. As the observant will notice, we have brought Lord Chompy to the fore this turn. He and Sonnia are facing off. Sonnia's in bad shorts with Copelis there as well. And after getting mauled by a Teddy, she is down to her last leg and down to...
One wound.
One wound and one soul stone. She took it like a champ, though. Over here, after putting a little more damage on the Teddy managed to kill the Death Marshal in one activation with some really good flips on my end. Samuel is continuing to hang back in the back and plugging away on some damage. A fantastic ploy on her part to put a burning +4 on the Copelis almost would have worked if not for Dreamer's lucky conditions, being able to remove conditions. Saved me from having a really angry Copelis. We have a scheme marker deployed, the first one of the game. For its intent, we don't know. Based on its position, it could be a line in the sand. It's not likely breakthrough, but it could also be plant explosives. We'll find out soon. As for otherwise, as far as the turf war is concerned, we both managed to score 1 victory point, having 2 models within 6 inches of the center objective. Turn 3 is going to be Crutch, and we'll see where it goes from here. Alright folks, here we are at the end of turn 3, which was about as productive and critical as I thought it was going to be. As you see, the big melee in the middle, the only one still there is Chompy.
That's because Copelis ran away like a chicken.
Well, Sonnia decided to detonate in a glorious fashion, so I tried to get models out of the way.
So what happened was, last turn he brought Sonnia down to within 1 wound. Sonnia's melee attack has a trigger, which is a given trigger. It gives you the suit for it within it. She heals 1 damage and draws 1 card for each ram that's involved in the final duel. So she's given a ram. If she gets an additional ram that she flips, she gets to heal 2. So I was using that to get her back up to, she had 5 wounds left when I was done with her. Then she has this beautiful 0 action cast that if it goes off at the end of the turn, or until the end of the turn, she has this condition and she becomes an inferno. When the condition ends, everyone within 3 inches takes 3 damage. If she is killed before the condition ends, everyone within 3 inches suffers 6 damage. So he decided he didn't want Copelis to die due to that, so he made him run away.
Indeed. I used one of the daydreams that was in the area to lead him away and push him out of melee range to ensure that he was able to get out. Let the daydreams get absolutely incinerated by the ensuing conflagration. Chompy himself almost was killed in the back blast. He's down to 1 wound. The Stalker over here is continuing his campaign of sneakiness. We have placed another scheme marker next to a terrain piece, so this could be plant evidence or getting closer to breakthrough. We don't know. He's being sneaky. Teddy over here managed to kill the Stalker that was remaining. Using his peekaboo ability, he pushed the Stalker closer to Samuel Hopkins, putting him in engagement range with Samuel Hopkins at the end of the activation. The one remaining Daydream over here kind of led things around, and my stitch together got blown up in a spectacular fashion. And then the only other thing to note is there's Copelis' new hiding spot right on top of the turf marker. Still remaining with 2 eyeballs. Somehow he's managed to steal 3 eyeballs from Sonnia Criid. Apparently she's got a couple more connections to the Neverborn than she's letting on. So, with that, the VP count is Neverborn is up to 1 at the moment. We'll see how this turns out in the end. These scheme markers might be the end of it for you, or they might be nothing and I'm freaking out for no reason. We'll find out. Alright guys, welcome back for the post-battle wrap-up. What we have here is at the end of turn 4, the Neverborn managed to remove the remaining guild members. Copelis is still hiding back there behind the building. You know him, he likes to slink around in the shadows. These 2 scheme markers that have been worrying us for the last couple turns did turn out to be breakthrough, netting Monica an additional 2 victory points. But because I was able to pull her off the center for the turf war, I managed with 4 victory points, bring us a final tally of 4-3. My schemes, which did not come up, were Distract and Breakthrough myself. I got too distracted mauling bodies to do any of my schemes. Monica, what was your other scheme that was unrevealed?
Plant explosives. So at the end of it, because he has Lord Chompy Bits near both of the scheme markers, I was contemplating whether or not to do plant explosives and just reveal that they were there and take a victory point from that, or just leave them there as breakthrough. But the thing is, with plant explosives, you only get victory points per enemy model within 3 inches of them, whereas breakthrough, you get victory points per scheme marker.
Good plan. Nets you the most in the end here. So with that completes the battle. Monica, any post-battle reports? Any thoughts?
Definitely need to remember to keep Sonnia out of combat against melee-specific armies. Like I said, I've only run her once before against Pandora, where she just hung back and obliterated Pandora. So I really kind of wanted to see how her melee worked. Her melee actually isn't that bad, again, if she was against more range-focused armies that aren't going to swarm her. But against the Daydreams and the Copellas and Chompy Bits, she was a little bit outmatched. But the Witchling Stalkers held up great. Hopkins did his part. I just wish I could have gotten some more burning counters out there.
So, and then for my end, again, first time running Dreamer with the finalized Wave 2 beta cards. These are going to be the cards that are more or less going to print. It functions a lot smoother than the other attempts I've run with him being kind of tweaked around a lot. He has a lot of ways you can focus. You can either run as the Dreamer himself and focus on summoning hordes of Alps and Daydreams, occasionally bringing yourself up to Lord Chompy Bits, or using 0 actions to prevent that from happening. Or you can go as quickly as possible to turn yourself into Lord Chompy Bits. With the combination of upgrades I've put into this, I have the option to, within 1 activation, turn myself into Lord Chompy Bits. That requires me to be in range to shoot something, though. Lord Chompy Bits himself, I also gave an upgrade to him, giving him Melee Expert, which turned him back into the melee monstrosity that he used to be. I had one turn where he was able to pull off 4 total attacks by triggering his Onslaught trigger.
It was brutal.
It hurt. Daydreams are still fantastic for positioning. This army still focuses a lot on speed. It has a lot of artificial positioning, a lot of options to push models around, a lot of healing effects that are put into it. Copellas, who was almost dead, got himself down to under half wounds. Lord Chompy Bits, at one point, was almost dead, got himself healed. My sole surviving teddy bear, who was fluttering around 6 wounds most of the game, has been down to 2 by the end of this through his own regeneration. It's a very stable, very fast army, and it thrives in being people's faces. So thus far, I like it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That concludes this our first battle report for Malifaux. Look forward to more to come, and give us your support. Again, this is Weekend Warrior Nathan and Weekend Warrior Monica, our local henchman at ShieldBreaker Games. Thanks for watching.